Oh, do you want to wear all the hats at once?
No, I'm gonna throw them at you.
Why'd you tell me that?
At the end.
Didn't work at all. I'm Hannah Kaiser, and this is the Bandwagon. Last week, we bandwagoned the perpetually maddening Mets, who remain committed to keeping fans hopeful against their better judgment for as long as it takes to wring the maximum amount of heartbreak out of a single season. Mom is loving it. And we got it in just under the wire because that was our last regular team episode of season 1 of the Bandwagon. But we still have a week left of the regular season, which means that if you've been watching all along hoping we'd feature your favorite team and we haven't yet, well, this is it, the jam-packed lightning round, all the teams we didn't bandwagon yet episode you've been waiting for.
Let's go!
We got a lot of teams to get to, so let's just do that. No, you have to tell me the team.
Red Sox!
Last year, very good. Best team probably ever. But this year, the defending champions, the highlight of their season was when the Giants rookie Mike Yastrzemski hit a home run at Fenway against them. It was very exciting for some people. That's the end of that. Oh, did you want me to snap? Honestly, all other Cubs, Anthony Rizzo came back from the dead. Okay, a sprained ankle, but he did play the Undertaker theme song to hit a home run, a la The Natural, in an effort to push the hobbyless team into the postseason. And they are still going to fall short after watching their playoff odds plummet over 75% in 5 days this week. It was just like a real whoo. The Braves have already clinched a division title because they are actually good at baseball and because they have guys like Ronald Acuna Jr. show the bat flip, and yet I'm going to use my allotted 30 seconds here to talk about how Bloober is the most underrated mascot in the game. The fraudulent check grip that he pulled on Harper and Machado was great, but getting brutally body slammed mid-game by a security guard, which seems mysteriously not at all faked, was even better. We're for the Braves. Woo!
Pirates! Let's go, Buckeyes!
No. See, this is a bad time to be praising the Pirates. Fortunately, they went ahead and had a terrible season to help us all out with that, but Cole Tucker's hair is nice.
Yeah.
The clip of the rookie's very brief early season breakout, he went on to play less than 60 games total from late April, and it's just been all downhill from there. I mean, yeah, they've got a pedophile, but at least somebody beat him up in the dugout.
Blue Jays!
When it comes to rooting for a team that's 30 games under 500, Blue Jays fans have it surprisingly easy, and not just because they have access to universal health care. Basically, the entire infield is second generation of last names that you know. The Blue Jays are like the baseball embodiment of the same 90s nostalgia that has us remaking Full House. It's not the two Hall of Fame progeny that have stolen the show with signs of a bright future, but the surprisingly beautiful baby with the great head of hair, Bo Bichette, which I guess makes him both of the Olsen twins at once. As part of the 11-game hitting streak he had in the first 11 games that he ever played in the majors, Bo Bichette, whose name will never not make me think of intergalactic bounty hunters, set an all-time baseball record with 9 straight games of the double. That's cool for a team that's bad.
Cool.
That's the end of the Blue Jays. They'll be good next year. The
Indians! Got him!
Yeah. The Indians finally decided to stop wearing a racist character on their clothes. The team did, at least. Fans, you have a lot of catching up to do. Which is a relief because it allows me to unashamedly root for Carlos Carrasco to be the dominant contribution to Cleveland's playoff bid the very same year that he was treated for leukemia. Cookie, as they call him, was diagnosed with cancer in June and made it back to the mound earlier this month. Pretty cool. I know, it's sweet.
Mariners!
Extremely beefy chin-strap dinger dude Daniel Vogelback is the honorary uncle and literal namesake for first-year pitcher from Japan, Yusei Kikuchi's son, Leo Daniel Kikuchi, and no baseball friendship has ever made me happier. Woo!
Orioles!
Honestly, when Chris Davis started the season amidst a historic streak of 62 straight plate appearances without a hit, every single one of his at-bats was appointment viewing. It really was. This guy took home the home run title twice! Not that long ago. Watching him whiff wasn't exactly baseball, but it was a powerful statement on how personal glory is fleeting and we're all destined to be shelves of our former selves someday. And continuing to start for the Orioles in that state is the most humiliating way to make $161 million while keeping your clothes on. And now, their season in gift form.
Well, he reaches out with the glove, but the ball is going to come straight and right on the head.
You have to say the team name. There wasn't a whole lot to like about the White Sox season, so we can capture everything that was good in this custom-made montage of Tim Anderson's bat flip set to Bill Walton's technically unrelated color commentary.
When they bring that high, hard one in, I stand in, lean back, and then just bam. And it sails away out through the universe like a radio wave.
Leave that one in! At the end of a season in which the Royals are set to lose over 100 games for the 6th time under the ownership of David Glass, comes the announcement that he is selling the team to Kansas City native and honestly otherwise interchangeable old white guy John Sherman. Not that one, he works for the CIA, the other one. Glass oversaw 14 losing seasons in 19 years with the team. So, I don't know, cheers to change.
Cheers.
Woo, maybe it'll be better.
Yeah. Padres.
Last offseason feels like a million years ago and one entire manager ago for San Diego, but it was pretty cool when the non-contending Padres spent a bunch of money on Manny Machado, and even though he turned out to have a disappointing season, we got to watch Fernando Tatis highlights for a while in there. Don't be in, Speedy. Look at them. Jumping. Running.
Fernando.
Woo! He's hurt now. Ooh.
The Tigers.
Hate to say it, hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who anyone on this team is. I mean, they could be playing a team I do care about. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to these mans. That's a meme. You have to say the team name.
Cardinals.
Tall child Jack Flaherty is having one of the 5 most dominant second half pitching performances in modern baseball history, and even their division rivals have to admit that he
Pretty much shoved it right up our asses.
John Lester said.
It's a dramatic pause. Build the drama.
All right. Ooh.
Brewers.
It's almost unforgivable that we didn't bandwagon the Brewers, and more importantly, reigning MVP, who is on pace to repeat before Christian Yelich sustained a season-ending injury in the middle of a playoff chase. In my defense, there was a really short window between when the body issues photos came out, reason to bandwagon them, and then when he fractured his kneecap on a foul ball. But also, as of today, they've gone 11-2. Since losing him, they don't even need him. He's free. He can go do something else, like the body issue again.
The D-backs.
16 teams, so of course we were going to talk about at least one cat guy, which is definitely not how Eduardo Escobar would like to be known, but after his fear of felines was figured out, the D-backs adopted a plush rally cat for the sake of tormenting their teammate. And now the team is honoring ringleader David Peralta with his very own cat-themed promotional day. No actual cats permitted. This is mean, right? Okay.
The Rockies.
I have nothing. I have no idea. I'm sorry. Daniel Murphy makes funny faces, but also he's a bigot.
No.
They're bad.
That's how we're ending this.
And just like that, assuming you count the time we talked about guys who used to play for the Marlins, I've given you reasons to root for each of the 30 baseball teams, which is a hell of a lot more than MLB and most of the owners can say. Do better next year, fellas. Maybe your team will get a whole episode of its own.
Yeah, Bandwagon.
All right.
HB, let's go.
Ah. For months, I've been closing out each episode with a clear and concise-ish suggestion to change something specific about the sport. But of course, the entire concept of the show is a humble proposal of its own to embrace the merits of teams you don't have a predisposed affection for, not just as a framing device for a weekly web series, but as an attempt to find excitement and enjoyment where you might otherwise harbor animosity. And that sounds pretty cheesy, huh? But consider that all fandom is an act of radical empathy in the way that it bonds you to strangers and convinces you to care about the high schools and hamstring tightness of guys in the game. I'm just asking you to expand your purview a little. This doesn't mean that you have to hate your hometown team or that it won't feel amazing to watch a World Series parade commandeer your commute, but remember, sports are supposed to be fun. Lifelong fandom is really just brand loyalty, and at a time when half of the teams aren't even trying, it can feel like a condemnation to pay for a product that isn't even supposed to work. With the regular season winding down, a lot of fan bases are about to find themselves without a rooting interest. And to that I say, pick a new one, but we'll talk about that next week. That's it, we've hit all the teams, all the teams, all the hats. Some of these teams are even good, and we'll talk about those guys next week. Playoffs! And that's the end of the regular season. By the time this airs, we'll be down to the final weekend. We have absolutely no idea how that's going to play out. If this is game 163, I'll be there, but if not, I'll be here taping a postseason preview episode coming out a day early. Postseason starts, it'll be out before then, before the wild card teams. They're going to be eliminated really quickly, so you'll have to watch it.
Go, Mets! Yeah!
And a snap!